Hi, this is Linda, and this is my first video recipe for the Ninja Creami ice cream yogurt maker, frozen desserts, I should say. And I just did the video explaining all about this wonderful machine, which I don't get a dime off of this. I'm just telling you because I love this. And I have lost over 70 pounds, between 70 and 80 on Weight Watchers. And you can catch all my recipes on my website at amusinghealthyrecipe.com. All my videos also on YouTube, which I will post a link to all of that. And I don't make any money on it. It's just for fun. And it's also to help other people and to encourage them to get healthier. The first recipe that I'm going to do with my Ninja Creami is Mocha Almond Fudge. This was always one of my favorite ones at Baskin-Robbins. So I tweaked a recipe a few times. I always, when I see a recipe, I have my notepad, I write down, or when I try it, nope, that didn't work. So I encourage you to do that. And to fit it to how you like stuff. And like I said, you can find the printable recipe and then work off of that if you like. And here are the ingredients for the Mocha Almond Fudge. It takes a little more ingredients because it has a lot of stuff in it, which is wonderful, but they're easy. Like I said in the last video, one of the tips I want to give you is I have all of my puddings and stuff already marked in little containers. When I want to make a recipe, so easy just to go to where I have them all stored here in my kitchen. I can grab what I want, make the recipe, instead of by the time I figure it all out, I'm too pooped or tired. And it's just like we learn in Weight Watchers, if you prep your food, you're more likely to eat healthier because everything's right there for you to grab. And so that's a little tip I'm just giving you. Another little tip, I use monk fruit, and this is Fudge-Ww brand. And when you're using these, when you're making the recipes, they mention about using, I can't pronounce this right, probably, xanthan gum. And I actually have it. I bought it when I had my Cuisinart ice cream maker, which I never could get it to work quite right. And I thought, great, I can finally use this. And this is the Anthony's brand off of Amazon that I bought. One of this goes a long way. We only use 1/4 to 1/2 teaspoon in the recipes, only if you want to. But it's an all-natural thickener, has no flavor to it, but it helps thicken up your ice cream. So I found out when I use it, it is a little better. So I'm going to be including that in my recipe today. And I put all of mine in a little blender cup. I like to use my Ninja Bullet. I just throw everything all in there. That's going to go into my little Ninja Creami frozen bowl that's going to go in the freezer. And it's easy just to do it all in here, pour it into here, and I'm all done. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do, you want to add your liquids first. Like I took sewing and cooking when I was in school. Many of you guys will probably date me here, but they always said you want to make for sure that you do your liquids first, and then you add your dry ingredients. So the first thing I'm going to add is 1 cup. This is I get from Costco, unsweetened almond milk, and it's unsweetened, so this is 0 points. Although when you do 1 cup, it has 1 point in it, which is hardly nothing when you consider milk or cream or anything, especially cream. So I'm going to pour carefully 1 cup of almond milk in this. Now I'm going to add 3/4 of a cup of non-fat plain Greek yogurt. I buy it at Costco a lot, but I ran out, so I had to get the Chobani, which is more expensive. Just make sure it's non-fat, unsweetened plain Greek yogurt, and then it's 0 points and has lots of protein in it. So I always like to stir mine a little bit because there's always got stuff on there. So I need 3/4 of a cup for this recipe. I think I've got about 3/4 left in this. If not, I have another container in the refrigerator that I can add to it, but it looks like I'm going to be able to do it with just what I have here, and maybe just a little more. I'll see how it looks. If not, I'll add more. But you want to do 3/4 of a cup of the non-fat unsweetened Greek yogurt. I'm going to put that right in next. Putting it right here into my little blender container, portable container. Get my spoon back here. Okay, and then you're going to go ahead and add all your dry ingredients. I'm going to have to stick my glasses on to make sure I tell you the right amounts for the next ones. So then I'm going to use the sugar-free pudding, instant pudding. Here we go, chocolate sugar-free pudding. Now, one package of this is around 5 to 6 tablespoons. So you're going to use a half a package. So if you put it in one of these containers, if you do 3 tablespoons, you're fine. So I'm going to do 3 tablespoons, 1, 2, 3, of the sugar-free. This actually is the chocolate fudge one. And the next thing I'm going to add is to make it more chocolatey is some cocoa powder. This is just your Hershey's cocoa powder that's unsweetened and just gives us more of a cocoa flavor. And so this is the dark chocolate. So you want 1.5 tablespoons, or if you don't want it quite as chocolatey, you could do just 1, but I like it real chocolatey. So 1 and like a half, and eyeball it. There's no points to this. Okay, moving right along. Now I'm going to add some Fudge-Ww. These little tops I've got are real cool. They're off the Parmesan cheese. You know when you get the Parmesan cheese that you sprinkle on your spaghetti? These little caps I saved because they go right on these mason jars and ball jars. It has one side where I can sprinkle and the other side where I can spoon. And so I'm going to put the Fudge-Ww is 1 tablespoon. So 1 tablespoon of the granulated Fudge-Ww. Sometimes I do more. Let me look and see on there if that was right, because usually I will add more of the Fudge-Ww. It's just in a very small print. Good thing I did look, because I thought that's not right. 3 tablespoons. I'm going to say most of my recipes I do like 3. 3 tablespoons of the sugar replacement monk fruit Fudge-Ww brand is what I get off of Amazon. This one here is the xanthan gum. That's that package I showed you, and this will help thicken it. You can do a 1/4 or a 1/2 teaspoon. I'm doing a 1/2. Seems to work better for me. So a 1/2 teaspoon of that. This is going to be a mix-in, so let me put this aside. And then, to make it the mocha flavor, you want some instant coffee, any kind of instant coffee. The Starbucks instant coffee is real powdery, so I really like it. It's not grainy like your other kind, so that's why I'm using the Starbucks. And that is 2 teaspoons or 1 tablespoon. So I'm going to put 1 tablespoon of the Starbucks instant coffee powder. And so I've got all my ingredients in there, and so the only other thing I need to add is the extract. And so this is almond extract. I have all these different extracts. Once you buy stuff, you'll have it. You'll be able just to use this. And so on this, I'm going to do a 1/2 teaspoon of almond extract, because extracts are pretty potent. That's a 1 teaspoon. Let me get the 1/2 right here. You don't want it too strong, but 1/2 teaspoon of almond extract. And then all I'm going to do is put my little lid on, and I'm going to stick it in my Ninja, and I'm going to blend it. Sometimes I shake it up first, kind of mix it all in, and then I'm going to put it in here and I'm going to blend it. I'm not going to turn it on because if I do, then you're going to hear a bunch of noise, and you don't want to hear all that. And I just finished blending this. I know you probably can't see this, but anyway, it's all blended. I'm going to go ahead and stir it, push the sides down a little bit, because you can kind of see maybe some of it, you know, on the sides, like anything, it gets stuck on there. And then I'm going to pour it into my container. I don't need these on for this. Okay, here we go. See how smooth that is? And now I'm going to get down every side, and it's going to fill it right to the line. You don't want to go over the line. I have a little bit, and it's been okay, but it has a line on the little freezer cups here. because it's going to expand a little bit. So you want to make for sure you kind of keep it, you know, close to that line. And then this is all done. And then I like licking the bowl. I literally take a spoon afterwards. I won't do it here on the video, but I will eat this down. This is so good. And I suggest that you sample it to see if it tastes sweet enough for you, or if you want to add something else. Now's the time you can do it if you would like. And then I'm going to put a little lid on it. So simple. And there's one other thing that I'm going to do. Let me turn this off. Okay, the next thing that I do before I put these in the freezer, I put a little label on the top. I have these little labels. They're like 1.5 inch that I've ordered like from Amazon. I use them for all kind of crafts, all kind of things. Anyway, because I have so many of these in my freezer, I want to make sure when I want something, I can look on the top because I have the freezer that pulls out and I can look and see what's inside here. So I stick that on here, and then I'll just write whatever it is on top of it. And I also put the points on it, just so I'll know this is 3 points for this whole thing once it's done. And I was putting the date and the time, but it will stay in the freezer for a long time, and there's no way I'm going to let it expire past a certain date anyway, because you're going to want to eat these up, let me tell you. And so then after I do all of that, I put it in my freezer. It says to let them, make sure your lid is on really good too, to let it freeze for 12 to 24 hours. I notice when I do the low calorie with just, you know, not the heavy cream and milk and stuff, it's usually frozen in like 12 hours. When I made heavy ice cream for my husband and did 12 and I went to blend it, it came out really, really super soft. So it requires a longer freeze time. You can actually, like I say, 12 hours later, pull one of these out and stick it in the machine and have a yummy dessert. But it's nice to have them ahead of time a bunch, so when you've got a craving, you just grab them. You can eat a half of one of these and it's only like 1.5 points. Or if you're like me, I just sit there and eat the whole thing for 3 points, and I'm full of protein. It's so good. So that's how you do on making it. Now I do already have one made, so I'm gonna pull one out of the freezer and show you how to cream it. Okay, I'm back. I just pulled one out of the freezer from the recipe I just made. I had one already in the freezer. This is what it looks like. It's hard as a rock. Sometimes it's hard to get the lids off when it gets really hard. So I'll just run the whole container like under a little hot water. And then sometimes I even stick, after I do it, I'll stick this in the microwave for like 15 minutes. And I read that somewhere, and it does kind of seem to help when it's blending it. This one I'm not, because I just don't want to do it right now when I'm doing the video. So you just stick it in there, make for sure it doesn't turn. I'm going to pop this little lid on it. Right there like that. Stick it right here where it doesn't move, and then you just turn this like this. Let me show you. It clicks right into place. Now the trick is, on these you want to put it on the light ice cream. I'm going to put it on, then I'm going to turn this off because you don't want to hear it. It gets really loud. My husband has to pause the TV, but it's less than 5 minutes. You're going to have a really good dessert. So here goes. I'm going to go ahead and push the button, and I'll be right back. Okay, this is finished. So the way you get it out, there's a button right here. You push this, turn it in your little container, and there it comes right out. Then you take this, there's a button right there, just push on it, slide the lid out. Whoop, you can see it's real powdery. And I had a feeling it was going to be because it was really frozen. So then I take a fork and I just smooth the top over a little bit with the fork, because I'm going to respin it. When it's like this, I've never had it where it was on top of this too. So maybe it's because I usually put it in the microwave first. Maybe I should do that because that seemed to help it a little bit. So you want to break up the powdery stuff a little bit. Then you want to pour a little bit of liquid on the top. So I'm going to have a little bit left in here. So about a tablespoon to help it cream a little bit more. It's real frozen. And then I'm going to put the lid right back on it. I can get it on her because it's pretty full. I might have filled this one really full. Snap it into place, put it back in, turn it, and now I'm going to hit respin. You only have to hit respin when you're going to have to respin it because it's powdery. If it would have came out creamy, which most of the time it doesn't, on the you have to hit respin. So I'm going to hit that. It's going to spin it again, not quite as long, but pretty good. And I'll be back. Okay, I just finished the respin. Push the button down, turn it, and lift it out. Take this. Oh, now look at it, nice and creamy. You can see this. So it's nice and creamy. It's all done. Let me just set this aside somewhere. Now I'm going to add a mix in. When you add a mix in, you take a spoon and you just go around and you want to put a little hole with your spoon, kind of carve it out a little bit, all the way down to the bottom. Oh man, look how creamy this is. All the way down to the bottom. You could add like some sugar-free chocolate chips if you want or whatever. But since this is mocha almond fudge and I already have a lot of chocolate in there, I don't need to add more chocolate. So I'm going to my little container thing that I showed on my intro that I have, has all my little mix-ins that I like. And I have them labeled so I know what's in there and I know how many points are in there. This one, I'm going to add chopped almonds. So I'll pull out my chopped almonds and need to add some more into that. I just chopped up a bunch. Actually, I chopped them too much. They were really tiny, but these are good. So I'm going to add around a tablespoon. I think I pre-measured this already so I could do this. Tablespoon to a tablespoon and a half of chopped almonds right into the middle. And then I'm going to push it down into that hole a little bit. Cover it up with a little bit of the chocolate. Then I'm going to put the lid back on it and hit respin. I'm going to lick this spoon after I finish going off air here for a second. And so I'm going to find the lid. Did I do it the lid to it? I think well, we want to put it back into here. Here's the lid. So I'm going to take the lid. It's going to go make sure this is not moving. Back on. Back in. Push it in place. Now, you want to do mix-ins right here. It doesn't take us long. It's going to mix in that flavor. I mean, that mix-in, which is the crushed or diced almonds. Okay, it finished. Push this button down. Turn it. Open it up. See, it's all blended. I'm going to pull this out. I'm going to stick this in one of my little cozies that I sell on Etsy. So, otherwise your hands are going to freeze, let me tell you. And there it is. Let me see if I get my spoon here. And you can see. See, you could scoop it with a scooper. And so the almonds are all mixed in with it. This is so good. Look how good this turned out. This whole container is only, well, it's 3 Weight Watchers points, and then with the add-in, it's 4. You could even do the Dairy Queen blizzard test. See, nothing comes out. I'm going to enjoy this now. See you in my next video. Bye. Enjoy.